Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be making a journal cover using a snippet roll. So I've cut this piece of fabric which will fit over the journal. It's just going to be a loose cover that ties up. I have made a couple of these in the past. And I have this snippet roll. I've got a couple, but this one's the one I'm using today. And this is something that I made ages ago, and I've only used a little bit of it in my actual junk journals. So I thought rather than letting it sit there, I would take some pieces and start putting it together and then sewing it up to make the journal cover. I'm not sure if this is going to turn out, but I'm hopeful. Let's just say that. So I've cut some different sized pieces, and the plan would be just to overlap them. So I don't want necessarily big pieces. You can see that some parts of this are wider than others. I will take advantage of that to try and vary this up a little bit. This one here, and I'm also going to make sure, because that's got a fair bit of bulk on it already, that when I put it down I'm not using all of that bulk. I'm sort of spreading that bulk out. So I'm just going to do this, and I don't think I like that one, so that one can go, and I'll put this under here rather than over, and I'll bring this down to the bottom of the cover. Then I've got this piece that's a bit wider, and that can sit up there. So I want it to look uneven. I don't want to have everything perfectly aligned. No chance of that anyway with me working on it. Put this under here. Where's that piece I cut before? Might tuck that on top of there like that, and then just keep on unrolling it until I find the bits that are going to fit where I would like them to fit. So maybe I'll do a short piece in here. Let's cut this. That on there, and then I can do like this piece here across to the end. This piece of fabric I'm using is just a little old bit of cotton, nothing special really. I've just cut it roughly the size of the cover that I'm thinking I would need, which should fit most of my journals. And then I need maybe a short piece here, or maybe let's just think about what we want. I don't want to put too much of the same thing in the same spot. So I might bring that lace bit up here maybe. Actually, I might turn it up the other way, like that, and tuck it under, so that I can keep that bit of ribbon with the ruler on it in the right place. And then I need something else now. I guess I can put some more of this down here. I've been doing some more research on my bus, that I'm convinced myself that I might buy a bus and then go travelling, that we might buy a bus. I had to convince my husband. I've convinced myself but not him yet, but I'm working on him, don't worry. And I'm thinking that it would be a lot of fun, but I know it would be difficult as well. I'm not that naive, but I just think that maybe we could enjoy that in our retirement. Not that he's retired yet, but at some point we might be able to get on the road with everyone else from Australia. A lot of people travelling at the moment. This one can go maybe under here. I can cover that, bring this piece down a bit, or cut another piece that's a bit bigger for there. Just chop it up here. And I don't want that white. I've got that in a few places now. Maybe I can put that down there like that. Yeah, down there like that. Actually, I'll put it under like that. Cut this bit off. So I think it has to be a bus because I'm not going to fit my craft supplies on anything else, I don't believe. It'll be the bus or nothing. Because it's just, there's too much that I would like to take with me. That's part of the issue, I think. Cut another piece for up here. See how that's a bit thicker and it's going to fit there. And then I've got maybe, I'm not measuring, maybe I should measure, but I think I'd just rather randomly do it and see how far I get with this. Now that's no good because it's not going to cover that. However, it should be fine for here or around this way for here. That's almost going to be enough. If I move this up a little bit, then put that down, and then move this up a little bit, and this one, that's still going to be enough to fit under there. And let's just get a bit more off. I think that bit would fit there. I'll chop this bit. So I think this sounds like the fun thing to do is to get a bus and fit it out, and I would have to fit it specifically to my knee. I've worked out that if the bus was 12.5 meters long, I could then fit myself and my husband and my craft stuff in it. Which doesn't sound that long, does it? But I've convinced myself that that would be enough. Plus I would need a trailer because we do have 4 bikes. We'd have 4 bikes to take, including the trike. So definitely, someone suggested that we don't take all the bikes in one of the previous comments. I was like, I think, you know, he probably wouldn't take me if I didn't take all of these 3 bikes with him. That's fine. It's what he likes, and, you know, I've got my devices and I like my craft and he likes his bikes. So who am I to say that he shouldn't be allowed to take them? Will this fit up here? It should. And I need like a skinnier piece for up the top there, like that. Maybe I'll put that down here. Not quite big enough. Oh, I got that out of shot. Let me get that in shot for you, sorry. Put this piece up here. I didn't realise I was out of shot with that. And then this piece I will put down here. Nope, not going to fit. So I'm going to go back up here with this piece, or this piece. Let's see, maybe this. Might have to move something around here. I want to leave that there. This piece is not quite long enough, or what? No, not quite long enough for there. I flummoxed myself a little bit here. That piece can go there. And then maybe what I'll do is I'll try this piece here. That one can come out actually. No, I think that one's got to go back in. And I think maybe I have to just leave this where it was, like this, or I can put that up a bit, like that. I haven't, you know, pinned any of this down just yet because I just wanted to see how things would go. I probably can overlap all of that up there actually. It doesn't matter if I've overlapped a bit of that doily. and this is my only problem. Okay, that has to come off, and I need, maybe I'll move this up here, then put that there, and then this piece down here. That's better. I've just got a little bit up there I'd have to trim off, and that's fine. So now I think that I can allow 2 meters of the bus for the craft section. So I'd have 2 meters on one side of the aisle and 2 meters on the other side. I've been drawing plans, just having a real good think about what would work and whether or not would be enough for me. But if I did that, I had the 2 meters, one side would be the high bench. So I do like a high bench to cut on, and especially if I'm cutting fabric. And then one side would be a split bench. So I'd have a normal height, like I'm sitting at now, a table height bench for doing, you know, my YouTube videos and things like that. And then I'd have to have a lower height one, which is what I have now for my sewing machine, because if my sewing machine is up too high, it's a very, you know, thick, deep sewing machine. Or I could have the bench the same height and then get one of those things that you sit your machine in. I don't have that at the moment. I just have, actually it's an old drawer from my kitchen that my good machine sits on. Because if I had that, I think, you know, then it's not going to hurt my back, and I'm low enough that I can sew without raising my shoulders up. That's the plan. Well, that's my plan. Whether or not that works is another thing. So if I did that, I would then have 4 meters, and I could have some drawers and things in that 4 meters. That'd be an interesting tour, wouldn't it? My craft room tour on my bus. And then if I did the whole 4 meter thing, I think that'll be enough, that I wouldn't be thinking, I wish I hadn't have done this, I wish I had my craft stuff with me. I could also have tubs, and I'm thinking a trailer for the bikes. I could put the tubs in the trailer for the bikes, couldn't I? Pull that down a little bit. I've got plenty of room there, I may as well use it. So that's my thoughts at the moment on the bus, is to have that. And then I could have a lot of things could be dual purpose. For example, you know, where I do the videos, say this little section I'm on now, which is probably about 50 centimetres, half a metre wide, I could then also use that to sit out to do my makeup and dry my hair and things like that. That's the plan, is to make things do a double duty. I think if you didn't do that in a bus, you'd be kind of stuck. How's that look? It's very colourful, isn't it? I'll go and sew it down and we'll see what the results are like. So I've sewn most of it down. I've still got some bits that I haven't caught, and all I've done is sort of just gone crazy on the back, up and down, round, whenever I saw something that I needed to sew. So I've got to do this bit, there's a bit there. Most of it is pretty good. That bit could do with some sewing. And then what I've noticed is, as I've sewn, some of it's sort of come apart a little bit. But to fix that, I think that I can do a couple of things. I could add another strip of snippet down on top of that, which might be something I could do. And then the other thing I could do, see there's one there as well I haven't sewn. Maybe I'll have to do that, because I was thinking the other thing I could do would be to get some extra fabric, like this bit here, and just create some little, you know, fluffy bits like I've done here, and sew that on top. I think I could do that with things like this leftover bit of fabric. Okay. Although that's quite long, isn't it? I don't want to ruin the, you know, the craziness of it by putting something plain on top. So I think it's going to have to be this one. And I think what I'll do is I'll chop this down, and then I'll cut it down the centre because it's too wide. And then I can sew that bit over the top there. Turn it around actually, put it here. And I had another bit, where was that? Here. So I could put some more over here, just on top. And just trying to see, there's another bit there. If I put that bit over the top there, create a bit more texture. Oh, there's a piece there as well. Okay. Looks quite crazy, doesn't it? I think I need to replace that with that. And where was another bit that wasn't coming together very well? There's a little bit here. I don't really want that though. So that would be my plan, is just to sew all that down on there. Maybe I'll do that, and then I'll come back, and I need to put some ties on it. I also need to do something about the edges, unless I leave them how they are. And I'm thinking I'll put something else on the back of here. Let me see, put that there. Might switch this one out for this one, so it's not the same. And this is all a bit same down here. So I'm just going to put that on top, because I had a bit too much white there. Possibly up here as well, there's probably a bit too much white as well. What I'd like is some of the yo-yos. I don't want to make them though, I'm too lazy to make something like that. But I'm thinking that I could possibly buy some already made. I know there are people on Etsy who sell them, and maybe I'll buy myself some yo-yos, so if I do this again I can stick some of those around. And if you don't know what yo-yos are, they're those round things that are kind of, you do a circle and then you stitch around it and you pull it all in, so it creates like a little puff ball. That's what a yo-yo is. You do that with fabric, not paper, obviously, fabric, and that creates a, you know, a cute little thing, but they're just a bit tedious for me. I think that I'm going to sew those bits of fabric, and then I'll work out what I'm going to do for the edges. So there it is. I've found some really pretty mint ribbon. It's a velvet ribbon that I've had in my stash forever, and it goes quite nicely with the mints and the colours that are in the actual snippet roll. And I'm thinking whether I'll cut it and, you know, roll the edges over. I've got probably 1 inch on either side with this particular journal that I could roll my edges over like this to create a more finished look on the ends. And I think maybe that would look quite good. So I may end up doing that. I'm not going to do it today. I'm just going to sit with it a while and see what I think of it, and then think about rolling those edges and putting something else on the inside. If I do that, I will show you. But for now, I'm just going to put it on the shelf with all the rest of my journals that are starting to get little covers and packets and bags that I've been making to put them in. So I hope you enjoyed that, and it gives you something else to do with your snippet rolls. This is Deborah. Thanks for joining me. Cheers.